chapter 22. The eastern tribes returned home. Joshua sent for the tribes of Reuben and Gad and half of the tribe of Manasseh. He said to them, "You have done everything that Moses, the servant of the Lord, commanded. You have also obeyed everything I commanded. For a long time now you haven't deserted the other Israelites. Instead, you have done what the Lord your God sent you to do. You have obeyed him right up to this day. Now the Lord your God has given the other tribes peace and rest. That's what he promised to do. So return to your homes there in the land that Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave you. It's on the east side of the Jordan River. But be very careful to obey the law that Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave you. He commanded you to love the Lord your God. He told you to live exactly as the Lord wants you to. He told you to obey the Lord's commands. He told you to remain faithful to the Lord. And he told you to serve the Lord with all your heart and with all your soul. Joshua gave the eastern tribes his blessing. Then he sent them home, so they went. Moses had given land in Bashan to the half of the tribe of Manasseh. Joshua had given land to the other half of the tribe. He had given it to them along with the other tribes on the west side of the Jordan River. When Joshua sent them home, he blessed them. He said, "Return to your homes. Take your great wealth with you. Return with your large herds of livestock. Take your silver, gold, bronze, and iron with you. Return with all the extra clothes you acquired. Divide up the things you have taken from your enemies. Share them with your people." So the tribes of Reuben and Gad and half of the tribe of Manasseh went home. They left the other Israelites and Shiloh and Canaan. They returned to Gilead. It was their own land. They had acquired it according to the Lord's command through Moses. The tribes of Reuben and Gad and half of the tribe of Manasseh came to Gilead. It was near the Jordan River in the land of Canaan. Wasn't it? It was near the Jordan River in the land of Canaan. They built a large altar there by the Jordan. The rest of the Israelites heard that the eastern tribes had built the altar there that had been built on the border of Canaan at Gilead. It was near the Jordan River on the west side, so the whole community of Israel gathered together at Shiloh. They decided to go to war against the eastern tribes. The Israelites sent Phinehas the priest to the land of Gilead. Phinehas was Strah, son of Eleazar. They sent him to the tribe of Reuben and Gad and half of the tribe of Manasseh. They sent 10 of their leaders with him. There was one from each of the tribes of Israel. Each man was the elder of a family group among the larger family groups of Israel. Those leaders went to the tribes of Reuben and Gad and half of the tribe of Manasseh. Those tribes were in the land of Gilead. The leader said to him, "We are speaking for the Lord's our community. How could you disobey the God of Israel like this? How could you turn away from the Lord? How could you disobey him by building an altar for yourselves? Don't you remember how we sinned at Peor? The Lord struck us with a plague because of what we did. Up to this day, we're still suffering because of that sin. Are you turning away from the Lord now? Suppose you disobey the Lord today. If you do, he'll be angry with the whole community of Israel tomorrow. If your own land is unclean, come over to the Lord's land. It's where his holy tent stands. Share our land with us, but don't disobey the Lord. don't turn against us by building an altar for yourselves. Don't build any altar other than the altar of the Lord our God. Remember what happened to Achan, the son of Zerah. Achan was unfaithful to the Lord. He took the things that had been set apart to the Lord in a special way to be destroyed. Then the whole community of Israel experienced the Lord's anger. Achan wasn't the only one who died because of his sin. Then the Israelites of Reuben and Gad and half of the tribe of Manasseh replied. They answered the leaders of the family groups of Israel. They said, "The mighty one, God the Lord. The mighty one, God the Lord. He knows, and we want Israel to know. Have we opposed the Lord? Have we refused to obey him? If we have, don't spirits say, if we build our own altar so we can turn away from the Lord? Have we built it to offer burnt offerings and grain offerings on it? Have we built it to sacrifice friendship offerings on it? If we have, may the Lord himself hold us accountable. No, we build it because we are afraid. Someday our children might speak to our children. We were afraid that they might say, what do you have to do with the Lord? What do you have to do with the God of Israel? The Lord has made the Jordan River a border between us and you, your people of Reuben, you, people of Gad. You don't have anything to do with the Lord. If your children say that, they might cause our children to stop worshiping the Lord. That's why we said to ourselves, let's get ready and build an altar. But let's do not build it to offer burnt offerings or sacrifices on it." So, just the opposite is true. The altar will be a witness between us and you. It will be a witness between our children and yours after us. It will also be a witness that will worship the Lord at his sacred tent. We'll worship him there with our burnt offerings, sacrifices, and friendship offerings. Then in days to come, your children won't be able to say to ours, "You don't have anything to do with the Lord." So we said to ourselves, suppose they say that to us sometime, or suppose they say it to our children after us. Then we'll answer, "Look at this altar. It's exactly like the Lord's altar. Our people built it. They didn't build it to offer burnt offerings and sacrifices on it. Instead, they built it to be a witness between us and you. We would never refuse to obey the Lord." We will never turn away from him now. We won't build an altar to offer burnt offerings, grain offerings, and sacrifices on it. We won't use any altar other than the altar of the Lord our God. That altar stands in front of his holy tent. Phinehas, the priest, heard what the tribes of Reuben, Gad, and Manasseh had to say. The leaders of the family groups of the community heard it too. All of them were pleased with what they heard. Phinehas, the priest, spoke to the tribe of Reuben, Gad, and Manasseh. Phinehas was the son of Eleazar. He said, "Today we know that the Lord was with us. That's because we have been faithful to him in this matter. Now you have saved the Israelites from the Lord's anger against them." Then Phinehas, the priest, son the son of Eleazar, returned to Canaan. So did the elders. All of them went back from their meeting with the tribe of Reuben and Gad and Gilead. They brought a report back to the Israelites. The people were glad to hear the report. They praised God. They didn't talk anymore about going to war against the eastern tribes. And they didn't talk anymore about destroying the country where the tribes of Reuben and Gad lived. The tribes of Reuben and Gad gave the altar a name. They called it a witness between us that the Lord is God. Dear God, caring about Joshua chapter 20 today. Say, thank you for giving us this land, and we know that you always keep your promises, and we will do it too. Thank you always. Amen. Okay, guys, I gotta say goodbye. Thanks for watching my videos. I hope I see you in chapter 23. Goodbye. See ya.